part 2 of this video to Packers fans. The Pittsburgh game. Brett Favre gets sacked or gets the ball knocked out of his hand. The Pittsburgh Steelers recover it, pick it up, and run the length of the field. Okay? Bad play by Brett? Maybe. It happens. Remember, it happened to Aaron Rodgers, but he did that shit in the damn end zone. It was a damn safety. Matter of fact, the Packers had to call a damn against the Vikings. They had to call a challenge because they didn't want the Vikings to get the ball on the 1 or the 2 yard line. They called a challenge. We'll take the safety. Brett Favre got stripped against Pittsburgh. The Pittsburgh defensive player picked it up and ran the length of the field. We know what happened. Okay. Then they come down. Percy Harvin, who's my vote for Rookie of the Year already, okay, comes down, returns the kick for a touchdown, and it negates that defensive touchdown that Pittsburgh had. Okay. Minnesota's coming back, driving. Looks like Brett Favre is going to do it again. Tosses a screenplay, hits Taylor, the backup running back, in the hands. And this is right after AP, the beast, Adrian Peterson, just ran over. Peter rolled. Just ran over William Gay during that drive. Ran over. Knocked him on his ass and stepped over him and kept going. But let's talk about the play that Pittsburgh won the game on. Brett Favre threw it to Chester Taylor. It hit him right in both hands. Popped out of his hands and directly into the hands of a Pittsburgh defender. He runs all the way for a touchdown. Now, I don't hear no Packers fans saying that was luck. The Pittsburgh defender was in the right place at the right time, and Chester Taylor made a mistake, and Pittsburgh capitalized off of it. That's what good teams do. And the Vikings lost on the road to the defending Super Bowl champions at the very last minute of the game. I just want to hear what you Packer fans are going to do, what you're going to pull out of your ass. You have so much hatred and jealousy towards the Vikings and jealousy towards Brett Favre. You really need to be kicking the general manager and the coach in the ass. Get them the hell out of Green Bay because their decisions on personnel have sucked. You had a chance to hire Steve Mariucci. You had a chance to get Randy Moss, and you passed on it. Time will tell who the real culprit's in it. Brett Favre tried to come back. You guys tried to pay him to stay out. Then you forced him to go to New York where he didn't really want to play. He feigned, I believe, faked the second retirement just so the Jets would release him. Just so the Jets would release him. And when they released him, hell. Everybody knew he could come back and play for the Vikings. And there was nobody in more fear of that than Mike McCarthy and Ted Thompson. You know why? Because he's going to show the world that they were idiots. And you Green Bay Packer fans, you need to wake up and place the blame where the blame deserves to go. One more thing on Aaron Rodgers. I notice all this yardage he passes for and the long touchdowns. It's more fucking runs after the catch. It's more runs after the catch. He'll toss it to Driver or the other guy, and they'll run 60 yards. It's funny. It's really funny. It's like these guys, you have to pad this guy's stats and make him look good. And you ain't played nobody. You ain't beat nobody. The toughest team you might have beat was Chicago. Maybe. I don't know. You haven't beat anybody. The beautiful thing about it is at the end of the season, all of this, it'll be the bottom line. And the bottom line is that the Vikings will be the champions of the division. The Vikings will be the champions of that division. And yeah, he's going to stick it to the coach and the GM who tried to blackball him and tried to bribe him. Oh, we'll give you another position. We just don't want you to play football. This guy loves football. Hasn't missed a game in 17, 18 years. 40 years old. 40 years old. Throwing that football. Bringing his team back. Never giving up. You're just jealous. And I would have a lot more respect for you if you just admit it. Nick Barnett, I'd like to get a shot at him. Okay. The cornerbacks, Al Harris and Woodson, He basically gave you guys a lesson that Monday night. He put on a clinic, Brett Favre did. Put on a clinic. Well, we couldn't protect him. People are always going to find excuses when it comes to football. They're always, if this would have happened, if that would have happened, but you don't put it on your team. You don't talk about if Aaron Rodgers would have, if they would have blocked for him. No, you look at the decision making. I watched how you guys went for it on 4th and 1 on the goal line. You should have kicked the damn field goal. But Mike McCarthy wants to win so bad against the Vikings. He wants to win so bad. You know why? Because he doesn't want Brett Favre to make him look like a dumbass. He already looks like a dumbass. And by the end of the season, he's going to look like a real dumbass. And I want to see you Packer fans, a lot of you Packer fans you guys will turn around and fucking and turn your back on him the same way most of you have turned your back on Brett Favre. Remember, he wanted to play for the Packers. And when they said, we don't want you, he loved the game so much, he went and played in freaking New York. Was one game away from making them a playoff team. They were horrendous the season before. The perfect situation for him to come back in is the Minnesota Vikings. He knows the system. They're a quarterback away from being a Super Bowl team. And they just so happen to be in the same division. What, he wants to come back and play, but he should play for a team that has no chance of winning? He should play for a team that has no chance of winning the Super Bowl? Is that what you Packer fans would like to see? Well, you know what? Mike McCarthy and Ted Thompson thought about doing that, and they tried to do that, but they can't control them anymore. So guess what? It's going to be a long season, Packer fans. It's going to be a long season. And part two is coming up on Sunday. Lambeau Field. Brett Favre returns. Let's see if Mike McCarthy, let's see if Ted Thompson were right. Let's see. He's going to do it again.